Hi, my name is Angelina Crittenden, and I am a TA for the Norris Comprehensive Cancer Center sponsored Cancer STEM program, which is a part of the USC Medical STEM program. I typically teach second grade students at Weems Elementary here in Los Angeles. Today, I'll be introducing you to the amazing guest speakers we had in the past week for our program. The first speaker that'll be introduced is the amazing DJ Fernandez. DJ is a first-generation student in the medical biology PhD program at USC. He spoke about the research he's involved in, not just with one of our classes, but with two. He talked about HPV, or human papillomavirus, and how this virus gets into cells. He made a great comparison to Pac-Man. He explained to the kids that HPV can cause warts and even cancer, and that it is our job to find a way to stop this from happening. DJ also talked about ways we as scientists can stop this from happening and showed the kids what a real-life microscope in the lab looks like. Here's a clip of what he taught us.
So I study a virus called the human papillomavirus, and I study something called endocytosis. Okay, this is a scientific word, but it's simple meaning, really. Endo, the first part of that word, means within, or like inner, absorbing. So like on the inside of something, endo, on the inside. And the second part of the word, cytosis refers to cells, okay? And your body is made up of trillions of cells. So I study how a virus enters cells, right? Virus entering a cell. And that entering process is what we know as infection. When a virus can enter a cell and start, doing whatever that particular virus does inside the cell. This is what you were seeing, just with much better resolution. And resolution means your ability to see something clearly. And so I took a video, and these are the cells moving around, living. And as I mentioned before, those red dots, that's where you see the virus. And so those dots are all over the place. And actually, if you notice, this cell divides in this time. Look, watch it shrink, and then whoop, now it's two cells. And so this is what happens every day in your body all the time. This is what happens. This is what cells do. And the experiment that I was doing here is all about watching the virus enter cells. And what I'm also interested in is how that virus actually moves around on the cell. And so this is a different experimental condition. And it, basically this is a different experiment that lets me really see if there's a difference in how these virus particles interact with the cell. And it might be really tough to see, but these cells here on the right, they interact with the virus differently, so the virus particles move on the surface of the cell differently. And you could see on the right that some of the particles just flow in towards the middle, flow really quickly in. This is quite different from what's happening on the left. And I only know this because this is what I do. But if you watch these videos over and over and over again, you start to pick up these differences.
Here are some quotes from DJ. Anyone can be a scientist if they're curious and interested in the world. Learning about everything is so rewarding. Bugs, humans, robots, everything. Another speaker we had was Dr. Evanthea Russos Torres. Dr. Torres is a researcher and a physician from the Los Angeles County USC Medical Center. Dr. Torres explained to students what cancer is through an amazing book that her kids helped her make. She used the analogy of cancer cells being evil people trying to invade a castle, which is our body. The soldiers fighting the cancer is our immune system. After reading this book to the students, Dr. Torres gave us a virtual tour around her research lab. She shows us equipment like a microscope, a fume hood, centrifuge, and a water bath. Here's a clip of Dr. Torres explaining her work.
This is a picture of a microscope. A microscope is a machine that helps us see things that are really, really small. It makes them bigger so that we can see them. I also work in the hospital. And so this picture that you can see is not of me, but it's just to show you that, when people are sick, they come to a hospital, and oftentimes they get medications that they have to get into their veins. And so that's part of what I do also. I work with the sick people in hospitals to give them medications to help them feel better. And how does your immune system help you fight cancer? Because that's what I do. So our bodies are like a castle, okay? And the immune system is like a wall with soldiers who surround the castle to keep evil out of the castle, okay? So here's a picture of the castle. The castle is like our bodies, like you and me. In order to protect the castle, we have all these soldiers who are wearing these red hats, okay? So the castle is your body, and inside your body there are good cells that can become evil cells, and that's what this is showing you here. Inside this castle, this is someone who went from being good to being not so good, not so nice, and trying to hurt other people inside the castle. To protect the castle, they try to fight this evil guy. They try to get rid of him. They try really, really hard. But after a while, that evil person inside the castle, he finds a place to hide. And the soldiers can't find him anymore. So they try to get rid of him, and they try to fight the evil guy, but then he runs away and he finds a place to hide. And that's what cancer does. Hide. Like this evil guy, and he finds a really good hiding. They're hiding, and oftentimes we don't know where they are. So we have to try and find them first. So there are so many different ways we can try and find those people. Once we find them, and then once the soldiers find them, they can get rid of the evil people. They can do their job as soldiers, right? The soldiers, they know all the different ways to get rid of the evil people. And that way, the castle can be saved. So cancer is this evil group of people inside the castle or inside your body that do not nice things. And the soldiers are your immune system. And the soldiers are able to fight off the evil cancer and rescue your body and rescue here. A tumor is like this collection of evil people. It's a bunch of evil people, but a bunch of evil cancer cells all together makes what's called a tumor. And that's what this group of Legos is, okay? And then we take that group of Legos and we put them into a machine that reads the messages that are written inside these tumors. And then what we can do is we can organize the messages by different colors that help us understand what makes up that evil group of cells called a tumor.
The students loved the book and were making connections to previous lessons. They also really enjoyed looking at the lab and got excited to see all the very cool laboratory equipment. Up next, we had Rachel Klaus. Rachel Klaus is a director of academic services at Experience Anatomy. Her curiosity for birds and their anatomy eventually influenced her to pursue the career of an anatomist. She showed the students a digital model of a human cadaver and demonstrated the position and appearance of various organs. The students were amazed by her presentation of the human cadaver model. They ultimately said that they all wanted to go to college to become scientists. The next speaker we had was Lisa Welter. Lisa Welter is a scientist at USC pursuing a PhD in molecular biology. She's currently focused on breast cancer and how cancer cells can spread to various parts of the body. Lisa talked about how she grew up in Aachen, Germany. She studied in the Netherlands and then moved to Los Angeles. Lisa talked about how cancer cells can travel to various parts of the body. She also mentioned all of her teammates in her lab. What a team! The students asked so many questions, they were very engaged, and they loved hearing about Lisa's journey to becoming a scientist. A lot of students mentioned at the end that they wanted to be scientists themselves. And those were all of our speakers for the past week. Thank you for watching our video, and make sure to check out the other videos on our channel.